Okay, so you guys know what's gone on with digital ID, the amount of backlash that the government has received for trying to control us. Because it is about control. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not coming on here talking nonsense. I'm not a fool. I mean, some of you may think I'm a fool because I'm wearing this mask. But hey, I just want to keep everybody who watches my videos aware of this, aware of what's going on. And today, I wanted to talk about what the FCA enacted last year to help with APP fraud, authorized push payment fraud, they call it, where you are tricked into sending money, whether that be romance fraud, whether you get tricked into buying Samuel Leeds' course for 13 grand, you might be sending money to a fake investment, or another sophisticated way, which I think people need to look out for because scams these days are very sophisticated. They're so sophisticated to the point where you think this can't be a scam. That in itself is a scam, if that makes sense. They're getting access to the data of, medium, small size companies like a law firm. Let's say for simplicity, it's an email. They'll send out an email with the same letterhead, the same email layout as the law firm to all of the clients' emails that they've got access to, and they can put something, realistic like, oh, you owe us this balance. Can you send it to this bank account? There's obviously a lot more to it than that, but things like that I think we're going to see happen more often as times get harder and people need to be a bit more creative with their thinking. Look out for it, bro. But in October 2024, I'm on the FCA's website. Similar to what we saw with digital ID, you see how they're selling it to us like, hey, we all need a digital ID to protect you, to stop immigration. Not the immigration will protect you, but what do they say? To stop the boats. Yeah, because that makes sense, doesn't it? The government says that by the time their term in parliament completes as the majority party, you're going to be required to have a digital ID to get a job, to do anything. Things that you just needed a driver's license for, things that you just needed a freaking birth certificate for. Well, the FCA said, hey, APP fraud is increasing. So what we're going to do to counter this is if the person has reasonable grounds, because keep in mind, I'll just give you guys a little history lesson. Before 2019, banks there wasn't anything that made banks have to refund you if you got scammed. It was more your problem. Banks only care about making money. If it costs them money, they'll do something about it. Hence why they've been more on point with money laundering. Why your account might be frozen under the guise of it's money laundering. We suspect money laundering's taking place because they'll get a huge fine from the government. In 2019, the banks, well, a few of the big banks, not all of them joined this because it was voluntary. They joined something called the contingent reimbursement model to stop with fraud because it was getting out of control. And it was working. It helped because in the first half of 2019, banks apparently stopped over £4 million worth of fraud every day. But around 2019, we saw banks like Monzo and Starling start to, get their banking licenses. They didn't sign up to this. Why would they? You sent the person the money, it's your fault. The banks still had no legal obligation to refund you or to help you out. And even for people who were banking with banks that were a part of this scheme, it was still a long process to get their money back. You really had to make your case. And if you're watching me back in 2020, I did always say, bruv, you'll get your money back, but it was a long process. Well, in October of last year, because of a crazy piece of authorized push payment fraud, APP fraud, I find that name funny, the FCA in charge of regulating finance said, banks, listen, for anyone who is tricked into sending money to a banking institution, you guys need to be faster with your investigating. You need to reimburse victims within 5 days. Before, they didn't need to reimburse victims at all. Now they need to a year ago, they've started to need to reimburse victims within 5 days. Hence why now, when you're on banking apps, it feels like whenever I'm making a transfer to my mum, I have to go through a freaking questionnaire. Like, what's this like? Bruv, it's my mum. It's saved as my mum. The reference is always my mum. Why are you asking me all these questions? Is it because of the kindness of your hearts? Is it because you guys really care? No, it's not. But keep in mind, you have to have a bank account in this day and age. I need a bank account to operate through life. I need a bank account to get paid from YouTube. I need a bank account to get paid from other things. I have to. If I don't have a bank account in this day and age, what can I do? Now, there are a few instances where if you are grossly negligent, the banks are not going to refund you. But you guys are probably thinking, Tankz, this is a good thing. This is a good thing, victims getting their money back. It is. But digital ID has me on my toes and thinking, these lot don't want to do things out of the goodness of their hearts. Well, here's where it gets bad. Here's why it's not actually good. Because let's say you're with Barclays and I'm a fraudster and I'm with Santander. I convince you to send 10 grand to my Santander bank account under false pretenses. And I withdraw the money. The money's gone. The money, let's say I managed to just quickly put it into Binance. If that there's no way that works these days. But let's say I get the money gone very quickly and you report it as fraud, as you should. Barclays contacts Santander. Santander says, yeah, that money's gone, boy. Under this scheme, what do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to give you your money back? Because you need to get your money back in 5 days. Have you thought about it yet? Both banks have to cover the cost of compensating 50-50. Well, Tankz, what does that mean? That's fair, right? You know, it's fair. Here's where it gets bad. Here's where the control element comes in, okay? But slightly off topic, guys. Have you ever come back from a night out, just smoked your nighttime zoot, ready to have a bash, and then you get hit with age verification? Like, they make you take a picture of your face before you can have a freaking bash. It's ridiculous. Well, if you're sick and tired of that, then Proton VPN might be for you. Listen, you man, the bag was right. Done my homework. These lot ain't had any data breaches, so yeah. It's a nice little way to protest the government encroaching on everyone's privacy with these new laws. You can watch shows in the UK that you can only watch abroad usually, but I'm not gonna sell this to you guys as the end-all be-all for privacy. It's not like you can just turn on your VPN and sign into your accounts as normal and think that everything's dandy and you're now private. No. It stops your ISP from being able to look at what you're doing online, just an extra layer of security. So if anything I've said interests you, there's a QR code on the screen and the link is in the description. They're doing a great deal right now. If you're not happy with it, they've got a 30-day money back guarantee, and if times are really hard and you really can't afford it, you can download their app for free and try it out for free anyway. So link in the description. Thank you Proton VPN for sponsoring this video. What it doesn't tell you here is that banks are allowed to hold payments up to 4 days. They're allowed to hold payments up to 4 days now. The FCA has given them the right to do this. And you know what the grounds are? You want to know what the grounds that they need to freeze money that has been sent to your bank account that you are being forced to have? You might want to use cash. No, they're trying to push everyone to this system. Unusual behavior. Unusual behavior. What the fuck is unusual behavior? The customer saying suspicious things. There's plenty more. Oh, reference, things like that. A human can't, manually monitor and check every payment. No, what's going to be doing that? Fucking AI. An AI system's going to be doing that. What the AI need? AI needs data. They're going to collect your banking data, your behavior patterns, and they're going to let an AI decide whether your payment or whether the money that's been sent to your bank account you should have access to it. And if the AI system says you shouldn't have access to your money, you're gonna have to wait 4 days. They can hold it for 4 days until they decide to call you and ask you about it. It's about control. And who do you think is gonna be getting more flagged up? The everyday worker or the millionaire? Millionaires ain't getting their accounts flagged up. No. If a millionaire, someone wealthy, if they receive a transfer of £10,000, but their account's not getting, they're not going to stop that money from entering their account. Because I'm not against, stopping money from leaving someone's account if it seems dodgy, of course, bruv. If a large sum of money, I ain't got a problem when the bank stopped me from transferring and called me up. I'm like, great, security. But when it comes to receiving, there's going to be, what's it called? This is kind of borderline discrimination. It must go against some discrimination law, because this is gonna discriminately hurt lower income people instead of higher income people, if you guys get what I'm getting at. And it's a slippery slope, because what is stopping them from saying, hey, you know what? You said something we don't like online, so we're gonna just hold your payment for 4 days because we think it might be suspicious, or you've received it. That is my fucking money. But no. That is what this. I sound like a conspiracy theorist, bro, but this is really where we're headed. What's stopping them from saying, hey, if you don't have your digital ID linked to your bank account or whatever, then payments we're gonna have to wait 5 days to get your payment. That's what's going to happen. They're gearing it up. This was passed last year. It was passed last year. And I asked myself the question, I'm thinking, bruv, why do I have to fill out a questionnaire before I make a bank transfer, bro? This is why. Banks have the power to hold payments that are made to your account for 4 days, even if you've never been registered for fraud. And if you're on the CIFAS register, that is a reason that they can, hold your money. And I've made a video about CIFAS. I'll urge you guys to go and watch it if you haven't already. CIFAS is a guilty until proven innocent system that needs change. It's criminal that this system is able to operate. You can be put on CIFAS for no reason. They don't need evidence to put you on the CIFAS register, and that blacklists you from opening bank accounts. It blacklists you from getting car insurance sometimes. It blacklists you from doing a lot of things. It ruins a lot of people's lives. It's scary, guys, and I can already see the comments. People saying crypto is the future. This is why crypto is the future. Bruv, let me tell you something that might really This might be like a new awakening for quite a lot of people, bro. It might be. It might be. Maybe you know this already. Maybe I'm late, you know? But listen, if you saw my video yesterday, when how 30% of the internet went down because Amazon Web Services, one of their servers, they had a DNS glitch or something like that, and it shut like 2,000 companies, 2,000 websites and that, apps, Snapchat, freaking PlayStation Network. They were all having connectivity issues all day because Amazon, who controls 30% of the internet data highways, what you don't see, they have a lot of data centers that these websites have to use because they'd rather rent the ability to use Amazon's data centers instead of build their own, because building your own infrastructure is very expensive. Amazon owns 30%, Microsoft owns 25%, and Google owns 10% worldwide. The rest is most likely owned by China. China maybe owns more that we don't know about. Maybe China has more. Cryptocurrency. All right, you know, decentralized. And you might be thinking, Tankz, we know where you're going with this one, bro. You thought you had us. We know that cryptos like BNB, Ethereum, you know, they're all run by Amazon, you know, and Google data centers. Because data centers are exactly what crypto needs. They have everything there to process crypto. If crypto becomes more adopted, you know, and needs to be run more, it's going to be run on their servers. Bitcoin is ultimate decentralization. Well, I've got something to tell you. It's terrifying when you realize, bro, that we ain't getting, like, it's going to take more than buying cryptocurrency to get control back, bro. It's actually going to be, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty, to just put it simply. Around 40% of Bitcoin, you know, miners, you know, people who let their servers be used, whatever, data centers, you know, computers be used to run the network, yeah? Around 40% is based in China, okay? China is China, bro. We don't want to be like China, bro. Big up China, bro, but I don't want the United Kingdom to be like China. Chang Li left Hong Kong because Hong Kong was given back to China. Chang Li said, please take me back from Hong Kong with you. It's becoming like China. And I brought Chang Li to the UK, and now Chang Li's scared. Chang Li is scared. Okay, Chang Li's scared. Chang Li sees too many parallels, bro. Chang Li's terrified, bro. All right, around 35% is owned by a company called Digital Currency Group, DCG. The CEO and founder is Barry Silbert. All right, that is who is responsible for processing 70% of Bitcoin. I think another 10% is in Dubai. We don't acknowledge that desert, bro, all right? They're gonna have the power. If everyone's using Bitcoin, they're gonna have the power to slow payments. They're gonna have the power to shut things down. Hey, listen, I know it's meant to be decentralized now, but if these lot control like 95% of, you know, the data, the computing power needed to run the network, what's stopping them from, you know, changing it a little bit and then saying, hey, if we're taking crypto payments, the government's saying, hey, you need to accept that. Shops can only accept this version now, and they can just change it. You know, because the whole USP of crypto is that, hey, listen, they can't just print more like they can with the US dollar. Is that not what they're going to do? Tell companies, hey, you know, switch it to this, you know, only accept this one, only process this model. Is that, and then shops only accept this now. We only accept taxes in that. That is honestly what I think the future is going to be, guys. And I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything like that, bro. It's no longer a conspiracy theory, bro. It's looking more and more likely every day. But I could have just been waffling this entire video. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love to every single one of you guys watching. God bless you. God bless every single one of you. God bless all your family members, man. Honestly, be thankful, bro. Be thankful. My uncle's ill. My uncle came when I was at a family function the other day. My uncle came in there all talking about his will and that, bro. You know what I mean? He's ill. Like, I've lost a lot of family members, and you just need to appreciate life more. I've been through it a lot, you know? And it's to the point where I'm just like, I know I'm ready for it to happen. Like, I know I'm going to be able to process it because I've dealt with it before. But this is my uncle, like, who was taking me to Tottenham games in 2006 when that was my first ever Tottenham game. Was at home to Man City. We lost 4-3. You know, he's the reason I'm Tottenham till I die, bro. He's the reason that my kids are going to support Tottenham. He's the reason that my kids' kids are going to support Tottenham. He's the reason that my wife's going to support Tottenham. You get what I'm saying? Just appreciate life more. You know what I mean, guys? Just appreciate life. Things are rough, this, that, but we're all living. We're all breathing, bro. You've got people that love you. Some of you might not have people that love you. I love you. I don't know you. I mean, you might be a dickhead. Peace and love. Thank you.